What's it like to be a visually impaired person in a visual world like YouTube? Well, let me try to explain that. Hey everybody, what is going on? So, it can be interesting being someone who is visually impaired, who can't see well, but is making visual stuff. So this is part of a collab with myself and Fashioneyesta, and what we've decided to tackle is that topic of being a visually impaired person in a visual medium. What Emily is going to tackle is the more technical aspect from her perspective of shooting her videos. Fashioneyesta is a channel that talks about both fashion and style and visual impairment, and I've kind of used her channel as a template for mine. Yeah, I'm not talking about fashion, okay, just more of the whole film thing, putting out short films and things like that, narrative content, as well as talking about visual impairment.
Hey everyone, how are you doing? My name is Emily Davison and I'm from the YouTube channel Fashioneyesta. My channel is a mixture of disability awareness, lifestyle, fashion and beauty. And today I'm going to be making a video over on my channel about how I make videos as a visually impaired YouTuber and the things that I do to make my videos. So if that interests you and you want to check out my video after, please come over and say hi. I would love to see you.
I'm going to leave a link in the description and up here, so go check out her channel. And what I'm going to be covering is more of the psychological aspect, the more mental side of just being a visually impaired creator on YouTube and some of the challenges, the psychological challenges that may come into play. So let me start off with saying that as someone who went to film school, I was taught to show rather than tell, instead of just giving all this exposition by having a character say something or something being explained in voiceover. Instead, try to show it, which is great. I have nothing against it, but the problem is for someone like me who is not just visually impaired, but who also tends to have a bit of an audience who can't see well themselves or can't see at all, it kind of just gets a little weird after thinking about it. Because as much as I want to put just visual stuff, visual information for folks who are sighted to enjoy the video, if I don't explain something, or if I'm not explaining something with an audio track like audio description, it's just alienating folks who can't see well. It's kind of a tough fine line to be walking, but the nice thing about this is that it's really made me very self-conscious, because now I have to be more self-conscious of like, okay, how long is a pause? Am I going to be able to fit an audio description track in there if I have to? But at the same time, the pause can't be too long, because if that's the case, then a sighted audience is going to be kind of bored because they won't see nothing happening, and they'll be like, well, this is boring, I'm gonna just click away from this video. And yes, this is my continuing plea for YouTube to incorporate audio descriptions. I've mentioned this one too many times. I think I'm blue in the face at this point, but I'm hoping they're able to incorporate this. Kind of changing topics on this, another thing that can be something of a hindrance to folks like myself who are visually impaired, or folks who are blind who make videos, is that people might call us out because they think, oh, well, they're making videos, they're not blind, they can point a camera, they can edit. And it's like, well, it depends. I mean, I can see pretty decently, but I still have to zoom in like crap to edit my videos. I can't set up lights, I can't set up my camera, but it takes me a little longer than usual because, well, I can't see well. It can be tough because, I mean, as much as you're trying to prove something, they're still like not convinced, because they're gonna want to say like, oh no, they're actually not. You know, it's one of those things that's frustrating, because unless someone is able to see through your eyes, then they're never going to be convinced. I've been called out in a live stream one time. Somebody left a comment saying like, hey, if you're blind, how are you typing on the keyboard? Sometimes you want to lecture someone, but sometimes it's like they're so adamant on their stance that no matter what you say, they're not going to change their mind. Kind of keeping on topic of the whole film school thing, I really want to be as quote-unquote perfect as I can with my shots, with my lighting. I mean, I have like one light here, one light bouncing off the wall here, another one bouncing off the ceiling over here. So, but then there's some visually impaired folks or blind folks who, you know, kind of pointing the camera at themselves as best they can. But the thing is, that's okay. They're gonna forgive you a lot for having, decent quality video, or maybe if a shot is off, they're not gonna, nag you too much because, like, hey, they know you're blind, so it's like they can forgive you. So that's perfectly okay. I mean, yeah, for someone like me, it's like, I need to get this perfect, I need to get that perfect, but it's like sometimes I just say, like, forget it, I'm just gonna film this, hopefully it comes out the best it can, and I might miss a detail or two, something might be in the background that I might miss, but you know what? I mean, I think people will forgive me too, even though I try to shoot stuff all cinematic and stuff like that. I'm still visually impaired. I have to remind myself of that too. Don't punish yourself for not finishing on time. I mean, yeah, we all try to make deadlines for ourselves, but at the same time, if you're trying to finish with a migraine because you've been looking at a screen all the time, or maybe your screen reader and iMovie aren't cooperating and it's taking you a lot longer, it's like, I wouldn't beat myself up too much if that was the case. It's like, okay, well, this is going to take me a little longer, maybe it might take me a day or two longer, but just eventually know that things are going to get done, and that's what I try to remind myself, which is why I don't really set a schedule for myself anymore, because I was too stressed out when I had a schedule. Another thing that comes into play, especially on YouTube, this does not make anyone immune because everybody does this once in a while. We compare ourselves to other folks on YouTube who may have better quality videos, or we just like their style, stuff like that. I would say try not to get too caught up in that, because, I mean, yeah, it'd be good to incorporate some of someone's style, but still try to make it your own, because at the end of the day, the audience that sticks around is going to come back mainly because of your content, or even because of you. So yeah, I mean, there are a few channels who I try to mimic here and there, but at the same time, I have to remind myself that, hey, put your own twist to it, put your own style into it. So I think that can be something a lot of folks who are visually impaired, or anybody on YouTube, is gonna fall victim to every once in a while. Okay, so hopefully I've been able to cover this topic well. I seem to have been all over the place this time. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but I just don't know if I'm gonna be too much on topic if I, continue talking. So anyway, please go check out Emily's video, because, it's really interesting just seeing how other YouTubers, especially those who are blind and visually impaired, are able to shoot their videos as well. Thank you, Emily, for doing this collab with me, and I will see you guys in the next video.